Be careful, Beth. I don't want to get my back hurting again.
Well, look at that slippery hill there. I wouldn't go down.
Turn the power on?
Yeah, have the power on. No, shake. See something?
Takers on that one, alright. Now for those of you who'd run away, raise your hand. There's 2 of us, alright! Oh, 3 of us. French boy run away. Well, anyway, Washington really didn't feel like he had all those options. Of course, building the road at this point is a little bit silly, but even to retreat. Remember, Washington and his men are very weak and tired and sick from having the lack of food and building that road all this way. Washington probably felt that they wouldn't be able to make very good time for the forest, and he thought that maybe the French and the Indians would be able to ambush them, and he didn't want to fight in the woods at all. Meadows, what which is really strange. I mean, why on earth build your fort in a meadow of all places? Why not put it up on top of one of those hills? Why not hide it away in the woods? There's actually a lot of different reasons why Washington may have picked this spot. But I want to see if you folks can think of a few first of all. I'm horrible. I make people think on different people.
Abenakis, Huron, French Iroquois, probably part of the Mohawk nation living at Montreal at the time that were pro-French. Also some Ottawas, Nipissing, and a few Delawares. You have to understand they probably had a few key individuals to interpret, because the Indians did not all speak the same language. And also the Indians could probably speak French also, living with them and trading with them for some time to the north area. Now, conversation that could have been spoken here between one of those French interpreters and Caughnawaga Indian, or one of those Mohawks that were pro-French at that time, could have went something like this. Segum, Stonagoanqua, Stonago, Oknise, Lache, the Hoji's eyes, Odon, Oknise, Alun Aquax, Gatnadatsa, Chokjage, Oknise, Caughnawaga, Nawa, Ona, Onikiwahi. That gives you a good idea what an Iroquois language sounds like. And the Mohawk language, in fact. In fact, Washington had some Indians here too that were Iroquois, some Mingoes, under the leadership of a man named Half King. He was here as an ambassador from the Iroquois Confederacy to make sure the Mingoes followed Iroquois policy in the Ohio country, because the Iroquois were letting these people live here. Also, there was another man here called Monicatutha, who was also another ambassador from the Iroquois Confederacy to watch over the Shawnees. And the Mingoes actually came here with Half King for food originally, and they had left. Then fully cock this back and sort of aim it at what you're going to shoot at. The reason I say sort of aim it, you look down the end of the barrel, there's something missing that we know of today on our firearms. Okay, there's no sights. You then squeeze the trigger, cock flies forward, strikes this hammer, and throws it out of the way. If this flint is sharp enough as it goes across the face of this hammer, it'll hopefully make a shower of sparks, which hopefully fall into the pan area, hopefully ignites the powder that's there, hopefully sending a small jet of flame or spark through the touch hole, which hopefully has not been clogged up from any of this stuff on my finger in previous shots. Now, once all those hopefullys work, hopefully the main charge ignites and sends that ball bouncing and rattling its way out the end of the barrel to an accurate range or an effective aim range of anywhere from 60 to 100 yards. Well,
José, vos armes. Mettez Lucien en son repos. Prenez la cartouche. Décorez la cartouche avec la dent. Amorcez. Prenez la bassinet. Passez vos armes des côtés de la paix. Mettez la cartouche dans les canons. Tirez la baguette. Bourrez. Remettez la baguette à son lieu. Joignez la main droite à vos armes. Portez vos armes. Out vos arms. Apportez vos arms. Next couple of commands you will be firing. If you want to cover your ears, this is a good time. On you. Two. Under there to the British and all of them. If he did that in revolution, he would have an army.
Han, turn around and wave.
Hello! I didn't know you were taking my picture. Let's go in.
Okay, I just want to get a picture of it.
about everything. Egg roll out. Same for breakfast. They had eggs and morning eggs and waffles and stuff. So they didn't talk at all. They sat down and they wolfed their food down and then headed right for the bars. And they're stone foundation. That's about it. It's under a tangle of stuff up there.
Do you know if any book has been written on all these?
Yeah.
So far from home he was.
The Battle of the Mongol Healer.
Yeah. See, they were within 10 miles of the.
Yeah, with the wooden table.
Double window, see it?
Oh, it's just,
Yeah, double window.
Anything over on the left I should be getting?
I don't think this is a toll anymore. They got it paid for and they decided they wouldn't charge.
No, the map says it's cold.
Is it toll? Where did I read? Some bridge wasn't toll. That's quite the least.
Yeah.
See the city from here?
Too far.
Actually, I think it's up there on the hill. See? She didn't even recognize her own voice.
There's Eddie. He's on. He's on now. Hello.
TB Mill.
That's your
Hello.
TB Mill.
Cheers to Ed.
Here's to Ed.
TB Mill, you know.
Here comes Uncle George.
Yep.
Hi. How are you, Ed?
Okay.
Do you
How
have
you
a
doing?
line in here?
Met our camera.
God, I never laughed so much in all my life.
After Charlie
Dan,
took
do you want
pictures,
anything?
Charlie took it and slung it over his shoulders, and he had the streets in Washington for 15 minutes because he forgot to turn it off.
That's a silent projector, isn't it? You don't hear it at all.
We got to Hilton Head, and you came aboard, and we went to St. Simon's, and it was only about 80 or 90 miles, and I collapsed at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon and went to bed. You remember?
Yeah.
And then we took a shower on the aft deck. You remember?
right.
Do you remember
Bob.
that?
Remember that?
But at St. Simon's, we ate dinner at the
Emily and
Hesse
Hesse.
restaurant.
Bob.
You remember that?
Bob.
And we had the
Got any
green note.
gin?
Yeah, the
A
shrimp
scotch?
green- that- mommy's dress. Who's here? Who's that? Do you have any I'll let you guys
Receiving line, come through.
Okay, smile pretty. Smile. Now, and you're supposed to talk.
Oh,
okay, this is sound movies.
I lost my daughter but gained a son or something.
Okay, very well done. Very well spoken. All right.
Okay, everybody. Here we go.
Get ready to say cheesecake in a minute, girls. Ready to say cheesecake.
Okay, count of three now. Nice big smiles. Ready? 1, 2, looking at me. 3, hold it. Good, we're going to do a couple more. Don't move. Here we go again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it right there. Good. Okay, let's try it again. More hill smile.
Smile, girl.
Come on, big smile. That looks good. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Good. Okay, last one. Last one, Hill. Back in there. Come on, get back in there. One more, then I'll give you a minute. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Okay. Right, now let's break it down. Pete's got it. Here we go. Ready? Peter's got her camera. Pete, camera. It's right there. No, that looks good. That's perfect. Okay, ready? Count of 3. I'm going to have to ask you not to take, only because it will affect the quality of my photograph. Okay? As soon as I'm done, you can shoot all you want. Okay, ready? Looking right this way. 1, 2, and 3. Hold it. Good.
Ryan, back this way.
Okay, last one. Here we go.
Belts and Bridgeport.
Big smile. 1, 2, and 3. Hold it. Okay, that was good. All right. Smile. Come on, 3. Hold it. Good.
Everybody thinks we're going to flash at the same time.
Yeah.
And again. 1, 2.
Okay.
Okay, I got
No way I have to be quiet, actually. I think about it. I'm wondering if I'm really going to
Hold it. Okay, good. All right.
Hey, Hillary.
Oh, we got cancers.
Right. One more. 1, 2, and 3. Hold it.
Different, you know, and the kids too.
Hold it. Good. Let's do another one. Good.
These pictures over with.
And
Yeah.
3. Hold it.
Excuse me, Miss Cousins.
Good. Last one. 1, 2, and 3.
See us?
Ryan.
It's taken.
The light should go on when it's running.
Oh, I got it.
He's got it. And you take it.
Camper, Camper, we got you.
Move out of the way.
Everybody looks fine.
Your kids are beautiful. Everybody looking this way? All right, here we go. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. Good. Let's do another one.
Make me laugh, Carl.
Come on, count of 3 again.
Good girl,
Hold
right?
it. Please. And 3. Hold it looking this way. Good. Okay. All right.
Tight cummerbund. You don't want to get too filled up, so you got to work that
right
light bear.
That was good, Tim. Will you get out of here?
I have to tell you.
All right, the entire wedding party. Wedding party over there.
Wedding party over there. Thank you very much, Carl.
I missed that big speech.
Hillary,
Okay, everybody back up. I know you think I'm pulling one on you, but I'm not. Just back up a little.
Hill. Hillary, come here, honey. And grab Hillary.
Boy,
Peter.
you're a brave one.
Ladies, back up. You want to be facing me.
Thank you, and
Thanks, Ed.
She was holding on, I'll say that for her. Get in the picture with your sister?
You have to stand next to Ryan. Forget it. If you don't cooperate, you're going into the car. You want to go in the car?
Okay. All right, everybody. Right in. All right, that looks good. Good. Okay, and hold it right there. Good. Perfect.
Jane, you better come back up here.
Ears. So I think they're handy to have.
Huh? Unscary, isn't it? What's the matter, sweetheart?
That day, but we can find some good place to go besides that.
Turn it on, turn it on. It's on. Everybody, grab your glass. Grab your camera. Grab your flash. Okay, here we go, everybody. Does everybody have their glass? Mills? You can't have mine. Mrs. Mills. That's all right. It's all right, just go. Everybody, let's go. Here we go. I propose a toast to Mr. and Mrs. Camp.
All right, cousin.
Chug it. No. Mr. Microphone.
You got your seatbelt on?
Yes, Brian, you ready for it?
You got your seatbelt on and ready for it?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
All right, let's get down and party. Let's go dance. Come on.
All right, I'd like to get all the single guys.
Say hi.
Hello. Happy Thanksgiving, 1989.
Thank you. That's what I should always do, anyone.
All right, now let me get the gravy made and then we'll be set.
is, and watch the wings start. Look at the wings fly. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. How do you
Oh, great.
Isn't that great? Oh, the people over there are
That tree is a winner.
That looks like a true.
No. Isn't it gorgeous?
Look at this one.
They got.
How do you get something?
Wait, 5 shots over here. That's great.
5 shots.
You know, John Ford had to have 5 shots, you know, when
He sure did.
his movies.
Ah.
Sure did.
So that's where you picked it up.
I ain't going outside with those crazy people. I ain't going.
I was taking a picture.
Don't take a picture of me when I look like a slob.
Well over 100 feet tall, and it's said to be the tallest royal palm in the state of Florida. The royal palm is indigenous to the Everglades down south of us and to the country of Cuba. Most of the trees on the River Boulevard are royal palms. All of these little trees are young citrus trees, either grapefruit, orange, lemon, tangerine, whatever have you. Because when Lloyd lived here,
It's an airplane.
See those things hanging down?
It's true.
They look
But
like
it's another
spiders.
airplane. Another airplane. These are airplanes and orchids that come from the Everglades. We'll take it to station.
But they don't kill the tree.
No.
Knocked over or damaged. So even though the roots, basically you might consider them above the ground, it's a very strong tree. Around 1900, Mr. Ford was working for a large company in Detroit, and they offered him a promotion to superintendent. With this promotion went a nice pay raise. But there was also a little clause there that said if he accepted, he'd have to give up his dream, his part-time work, working on his horseless carriage. If any of you have a hobby, you'll know that if you can afford to, you'd rather work in your hobby full-time than you would at a regular 7 to 5 job someplace else. Mr. Ford could afford to.
We went to play to California.
My wife always says you get big back of people's heads all the time.
Down all breweries.
I said that's part of the scenery. When people are out in the ocean or somewhere, you know.
Right. Everything.
I was like to get too far back. You can get in here.
Stay single file so these people can get out this porch and give you some help.
Did they do hanging plants in 1916? Did they do hanging plants in 1916? I've made more messes in my time with hanging plants because the water runs out.
Yeah, this one's the same way.
Yeah.
Get too much water in there, you got to take some.
I've made up mine, but I'm going to decide.
Lady across the street from us, she had hanging plants around the house, and my wife said she took them all down through them all the way. Yeah, I mean, look at it. A lot of stuff where it shouldn't.
I used to deliver a cheap chrome dinette set, okay, for $29.95, and in there living was a great big round table, a big basement, and sniffer.
Yeah. Open door,
Underwood?
No. Looks like an old Underwood yard. Oh, it is, yes. What is it?
It's an old Underwood.
I thought it was when I first looked at it, and then I thought, no, maybe the chair, the old-fashioned chair.
Anything blue and white.
Where was the secretary?
My husband doesn't like them. All right, the secretary slept here then.
Yeah. And the paper at the stove's kind of an exit.
Please keep your lines straight.
I gotta change my glasses.
I was just saying about the old, these days.
So is something else.
Fine. That would be back in the 20th century then.
Oh yeah, look at the legs.
My grandmother had one of those old antique level where they should quite comfortable.
Oh yeah, we had this.
Oh, that's really nice, like a wax screw. Screenings on that porch. Yeah.
That was Mr. Ford's clock then, is that the one?
Yes.
Okay.
I just told me I had to have 20/20 screening on it. Oh, sorry.
Those are exquisite.
Just that this is history, I mean, it's furniture of the period. It's not original, but it's furniture.
Are they old? Those coverlets?
I really don't know that.
Exquisite.
Nothing past 1931 is in the house. I do know that. Everything that's in, there's nothing in it, so there's no need to open it. This is Mr. and Mrs. Ford's bedroom up here. The dressing room is over here.
Is that him?
The picture was taken by Henry Ford from balloons when he gave.
Hold the banister all the way up. Turn to the right.
That platform rockers is kind of neat. That watches made out.
It's not from outside. Yes, it's downstairs. You'll see it out on the porch. Watch the last 3 stairs.
No, you don't know where it goes.
Okay. No, there's a lot of doors I don't know where they go to. But there's a bathroom. If you go out, on the way out, you'll see a bathroom there. It was for...
Hear all that mission.
Beautiful about him.
The design is beautiful.
Well, that's why I'm trying to take a picture of him.
Look at the cradle. Does it rock? Yeah, it does.
Oh, I love this porch.
This reminds me of the porch in South Carolina.
Yeah, somewhat.
Same width, same length. One down there as well.
Huh?
And you ought to try to get something from there, but
Side.
yeah. Did you get the lighthouse? Can you catch Naples? It's clearer than it was yesterday.
I don't know what I'm even getting.
Your bells and whistles aren't working. Look at this traffic back up.
One thing when they got a good. Is that a 4-mile station?
Getting anything?
Yeah.
Big spot where the picture should be. I thought you took the lens on camera.
Thank you, Marvin. I thought my battery was dead.
Erie Canal slowed down. Now, okay. Now, ready? The Erie Canal.
This isn't the Erie Canal.
All right, Ed, that's it.
Sing, y'all.
Turn it off.
Sing. Sing.
Sal.
You'll think Sal.
You remember
I was born in the Minnesota Hospital in Braddock, Kansas, and my grandfather, my mother's father, had a farm nearby, and he came to see his new granddaughter. But as he raced in to see my mother and his new grandchild, he was more excited about the fact that he had just bought a registered sow. And without looking at the grandchild, who my mother had named Sybil, he said, "I have just bought this wonderful registered sow, and her name is Sybil."
Why, they expanded
They
too
go down
rapidly.
and
And so they're moving down to fewer square footages. I did examine the tulips outside.
That should be a lesson to you, Martha.
Don't expand
Too rare.
Well, I did examine the tulips outside though, and they had already bloomed. So I didn't know what the blue, purple, green tulips were. And I didn't know I liked the color scheme. So I put it on hold till next year. Really, we are really going to move into this plush corporate world. And I'm afraid that they're going to take their furniture. We've got to move it with what's left.
Now look at me. Say something.
Fascinating. Okay, we don't want to be all guys together and girls together now.
No, I want you to do exactly what you're doing. Talking, moving around.
Is it a casual group or something?
Yeah. It's not as...
So we have to have some motion?
It's not as... It's not as...
It's just like a whole movie. I can't.
What is this?
C&D Canal.
No. What's the C&D Canal?
It's just a chapter. Chesapeake and Delaware.
Where does it lead to?
It goes all the way through.
lucky you were. See you later.
Gretchen Van Aert will offer the invocation, after which the audience is requested to remain standing and to participate in the singing of the national anthem.
Let us pray. Eternal God, Lord of wisdom and grace, be with us as we celebrate the promises that have reached fulfillment in this hour, and be with the graduates who today are celebrating both an ending and a new beginning in their lives. May what truth they have found grow in meaning and strength until its beauty is shown in a common devotion to all that is life-giving and in compassion for those who hunger for freedom and humanness. May their hearts' concerns be always for justice, for gentleness, and for peace. Grant them the courage to risk themselves for the sake of human dignity, the vision to see a new world in which there is no room for hatred, no place for violence, the faith to sustain them through all times of loneliness and powerlessness, and the wisdom to know that they are sent as servants, that their gifts belong to all humanity, entrusted to them only for the common use. Bless these men and women, that they may shine like stars in a world that so needs their light. And bless them now, and lead them with the words of your prophet. God has showed you what is good, and what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Amen.
President Muller, Governor Schaefer, Mrs. Johnson, and other distinguished honorees, members of the Board of Trustees, members of the faculty, members of the graduating classes, ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased indeed to be with you today, and especially honored to have been asked to deliver this address at the last commencement presided over by Dr. Stephen Muller as president of the Johns Hopkins University. As a trustee of Hopkins, I have had the opportunity to observe firsthand Dr. Muller's remarkable leadership and his extensive contributions to this university. He's given them for almost 20 years. He has served Hopkins with great distinction and dedication, and today this university shines ever more brightly because of his brilliant and creative leadership. All who wish Hopkins well owe Stephen Muller a deep and lasting debt of gratitude.
Oh
Ritz School of Advanced International Studies for the degrees Master of International Public Policy, Master of Arts in International...
Candidates from the School of Medicine.
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Arts from the School of Medicine please rise? Mr. President. Mr. President, I am pleased to present to you candidates who have been certified by the faculty of the School of Medicine for the degree Master of Arts.
Dean Van der Ven will present master's candidates from the GWC Whiting School of Engineering.
Will the candidates for the degrees Master of Chemical Engineering, Master of Civil Engineering, Master of Environmental Engineering, Master of Material Science and Engineering, Master of Science in Engineering, and Master of Arts from the GWC Whiting School of Engineering please rise? I am pleased to present to you candidates who have been certified by the Faculty of Engineering for the degrees Master of Chemical Engineering, Master of Civil Engineering, Master of Environmental Engineering, Master of Material Science and Engineering, Master of Mechanical Engineering, Master of Science in Engineering, and Master of Arts.
Dean Armstrong will present master's candidates from the School of Arts and Science.
And I invite you to join me in some parting thoughts about this extraordinary institution. Each great university has a personality of its own, ineradicably shaped over time, and it lays claim to the fame of its achievements and the loyalty of its members. Each also strives for quality. We in the United States are indeed blessed with an array of universities capable collectively of setting the global standards for higher education and academic research. Within this array of such distinction, most of whose members are rather more alike than sharply different from each other, Johns Hopkins remains unique, and not only because the world prefers the omission of one letter from our name. A special blend of ingredients produces a supremely distinctive Johns Hopkins flavor, penetrating and pleasing at this university. First among these ingredients, I would place pride. Pride rooted in our origin as the nation's first true major research university, whose founding on the model of Wilhelm von Humboldt forever transformed the collegiate model of higher education, which was part of America's British legacy. Pride fostered thereafter by the creation here a century ago of the contemporary pattern of medical education, and by the subsequent establishment of the country's first School of Public Health. Pride in other firsts, and even first and onlys, such as the first and only American graduate campus in Europe, the first and only University School of Nursing guaranteed financially by a consortium of hospitals, the first and only graduate center jointly operated by a Chinese and an American university, and the first and only host campus to the scientific home on Earth of the Hubble Space Telescope. Pride always nurtured by achievement. Such great pride is not an unmixed blessing. At its best, it spurs on to utmost effort, breeds self-confidence, uplifts and inspires. At its worst, it rises into the excess of arrogance, or lowers itself into complacency. In all its forms, pride surely is a most pronounced part of Johns Hopkins. So is a seriousness of purpose, perhaps also derived from the Teutonic portion of our founding. Hopkins relentlessly delights in work rather than play, and values creation more than recreation. In a society on which technology has bestowed abundant leisure for all, to the point that entertainment is the most intensive craving of idle minds, that entertainers are now the most highly rewarded among the professions, and that politics is increasingly perceived primarily as public entertainment, a serious university is an ever more precious resource, even though seriousness on occasion degenerates into pompous self-importance. At the very least, Johns Hopkins remains serious about academic study and refrains from incorporating the flagrant corruption of pay-for-play semi-professional athletic public entertainment into the university. Johns Hopkins is also competitive. Perhaps Mr. Johns Hopkins, who alas revealed so very little of himself in writing, was himself shrewd enough to realize that one has to be very competitive indeed to impress the world from Baltimore. Be that as it may, the university and hospital to whose establishment Mr. Hopkins left his wealth both manifest an unrelenting competition for excellence. Happily, learning is not a zero-sum game in which one can earn more only if others earn less, and neither are research nor public service. At their best, the men and women of Johns Hopkins compete uncompromisingly to excel, and they become formidably skillful and tough in the process. At their worst, they sometimes seem to elbow each other as though the last train were forever leaving, and they can appear to be more than tough and less than kind. Fiercely or not, Johns Hopkins competes, and the striving to be best and first, which has led to so much achievement, seems as natural at this university as hunger or thirst. A most precious ingredient at Johns Hopkins is independence. The university is not, of course, absolutely autonomous within society, any more than any other citizen, corporate or private. Nor can we, as grateful recipients of annual grants from the state of Maryland, and as the single largest university recipient of research funding each year from the federal government, claim to be independent of governmental support. But, and this is what counts most, Johns Hopkins remains independently free to govern itself, to select its work, and to select its faculty and students. Only the trustees of the university themselves select their successors. Academic freedom prevails here as long and as much as this university itself will sustain without the intrusion of government. Johns Hopkins has never sought, nor have we been required to try to be all to all. We are free to choose our own programs and curricula. Hopkins is therefore free to choose students and faculty solely on merit, and free also to dismiss those who disappoint after being chosen. The practical limits of choice, represented by the availability of resources, are ours to test every day in the search for private donations. We can say no to government if we are prepared to pay the price, and I am proud to assure you that we have done so. But our infinitely precious independence from the whimful dictates of public authority is itself utterly dependent on private charity, which alone sustains the integrity of our freedom, measures our quality in the harsh glare of competing claims for support, and provides the means to translate our dreams into reality. The final ingredient I will mention is the bonding in a strong sense of community. At first, that may strike you as inaccurate for a university which, while happily less gigantic than the majority of its peers, is as large and decentralized as Johns Hopkins. In fact, however, precisely the geographic, academic, and administrative decentralization of Johns Hopkins sustains the intimacy of community, admittedly not so much in the university as a whole, but rather in each of its distinctive divisions. As president, I have had the rare responsibility and privilege to see the whole of Johns Hopkins, as only very few others are also able to see it. And what I see lacking in a prevailing sense of the whole university seems abundantly compensated for by the more human and knowable scale and sense of community within each division. In this one respect, perhaps, Johns Hopkins as a whole may appear uniquely smaller than the sum of its parts. You are yourselves a part of this bonding within each of the divisions in which you have earned your degree. You will, as is true of your predecessors, discover more of your university as alumni than you came to know as students. Wherever you go from here, you will inseparably carry with you your very own share of that supremely distinctive, penetrating, and pleasing Johns Hopkins flavor which I have attempted to elicit for you. May it serve you well, and may you leave Johns Hopkins, as I leave the presidency, with the pride, the seriousness of purpose, the competitive drive for excellence, the self-confident independence of mind, which are the quintessence of this university, in addition to the learning you have achieved. Above all, may you leave, again as I also leave office, with affection for this extraordinary and so very demanding institution. Johns Hopkins has made you stronger. May the truth keep you free. Godspeed, and may good fortune smile upon your lives and your endeavors, and on this many-splendored jewel of a university which has given us all so much.
Cheese.
Yeah, cheese.
Do you have your diploma with you, or?
No, I get that tomorrow.
Who gets to wear the yellow tassel?
I don't know who gets yellow. I know what this is the gold here means that it's a degree in science, a master's of science degree. This is a master's degree hood. The sort of dark gold inside the hood, if you can see that, is the Johns Hopkins color.
I thought one wore a hood according to the school.
Yeah, if I were getting a different gold, the hood color would be different.
But the outside would be the same.
The outside's the same for just about everybody. The other thing is this tassel, which I get to keep.
All this?
Yes. Says 90. I actually graduated in '89 according to the records, but I can't be too choosy. What do you do? I had the ceremony was actually a blast because I sat right in front of a whole row of graduates from Peabody School who brought champagne and passed it around.
Boy, they were flying.
They were the ones who were singing "Pomp and Circumstance" on the way out when the band quit. So that made the long ceremony bearable. That was a blast.
Are you gonna get to shake Steve Muller's hand?
No, I didn't get to shake.
I really am going to I'm a fundamental boy.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Okay. How y'all? You made it. God.
Yeah, it was a rush.
I'm sure of that.
Had a terrible time today.
Yeah.
We ran into each other on the highway, not literally, but we saw each other on the highway, and I just followed him in.
You coming?
Having it is better than not having it.
To sit so quietly while we were waiting for the TV cameras to begin. My name is Alan Carr. I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs of the Whiting School, and on behalf of all of us associated with the School of Engineering, I'd like to welcome you to our 1990 diploma ceremony and to offer my congratulations to the graduates particularly. It's really quite a splendid achievement on each of your part, and we're really grateful that you are letting us share your happiness and your accomplishments with you tonight. We know, though, that none of you really did it alone, and there's a long-standing tradition at Johns Hopkins which I'd like to carry on, and that is I'd like to ask everyone in the audience who is a parent or a spouse or a child of one of the graduates to stand up and be recognized, please. Your accomplishments, you'll meet some of them sort of in person later on, but I'd also like to ask everyone who's present who is a faculty member in the Peter Brodsky. James Theodore Everett. Samuel Robert Frost. Charles Byron Hall. Curtis R. Jensen. Kyle William Keene. Michael D. Mandelberg. I have a couple of logistical announcements to make about that. The most important one is that it's now raining outside. So the reception is not going to be held in the quadrangle as we had originally hoped. It will be held instead in the glass pavilion of Leverick Hall. You reach that by going to the far end of this quadrangle and taking a left turn and looking for a building that basically resembles an automobile showroom set in the woods. There will be members of the staff available outside to assist any of you who can't follow those directions. And also right now, you're going to think I'm stalling, but I'm not really quite stalling. The caterers are rushing to be able to get this all set up. But you may have noticed in the program there was this thing labeled closing remarks, and it turns out that maybe in this case they actually do serve a useful purpose. It's nice to be useful once in a while. Of course, what usually happens at this point in graduations is that the new graduates, as is going to happen to you, are subjected to sort of the last few words from those of us who have been your teachers. Often what happens is that we say something about going out into the real world, which we claim is no more ready for the graduates than they are for it. Almost as if we were hoping that by saying these words to the graduates, we might be delaying their entrance into the real world just a little longer and reminding them that their education really isn't quite complete. But a lot of this, of course, doesn't really apply to any of you. Most of you are already part of the real world with jobs and families and mortgages and those kinds of things. And as Dean Van Vliet mentioned, you already realize that your education isn't complete. Indeed, one of the reasons why you've pursued and earned master's degrees is that you really knew that already. So as I was thinking about trying to say something at this point, I asked myself what I guess amounts to sort of a dangerous question, and that was whether there really wasn't anything to say, other than let's get to the reception, which is perhaps the most useful thing, and don't worry, it'll be said momentarily. For me, the question actually was particularly pertinent because a couple of weeks ago my twin daughters graduated from Duke University, and in the past, I guess, 11 days I have been to 7 formal graduation events, and I'm aware that there's not much to be said that hasn't been said already. And beyond that, John White notwithstanding, engineers have not traditionally been noted as either particularly profound or articulate philosophers. But obviously I'm not standing here to talk about my failures. Instead, what I'd like to do is really to give you what I hope is one idea to think about as you go away from Johns Hopkins. And what I'd really like you to do is to just reflect for a moment and try and remember what it was that brought you to Johns Hopkins. Your reasons, obviously, are as diverse as you are. You came to learn, to advance your careers, to grow personally, maybe even to escape from your small children. But each of you, I think, came here with the hope and the anticipation that you would leave Johns Hopkins a different person from when you entered. We in the School of Engineering and in the whole university hope that this goal has been realized because one of our paramount desires is really to make a difference in the lives of our students. And by this, I mean a difference other than missed dinners or nights in the laboratory or thinner wallets. I hope that none of you will ever forget, no matter how complicated or formidable the world seems to you, that you too can make that kind of difference. Each of us touches hundreds of lives, and like it or not, we do affect these people, and the good news, of course, is that we can have a positive effect. I was thinking this afternoon about one of my favorite stories, which is Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol, and don't worry any of you, this isn't going to get too sentimental. But I've always found that one of the really powerful images in Christmas Carol, and I never sort of realized this until I read it as an adult, is after Marley's ghost has visited Scrooge and is in the process of departing, and the ghost is backing away from Scrooge, and as he does so, the window is opening behind him. And out in the ether beyond the window, there is just this mass of spirits. And all the spirits are, in some form or to some degree, lamenting their inability to use Dickens' words, their inability to interfere for the good in human affairs. So my message to you is simple. You are indeed uncommonly bright and energetic individuals with uncommon abilities, some of which we hope that in your time here we have helped to enhance. Please do interfere, and please too try to make a difference. So good luck and good fortune to you. Thank you all again, graduates and parents and spouses and children and friends alike, for sharing your joy and your achievements this evening with us. And now let's all go celebrate.
got them all together.
See something up there related to it, I think.
We'd like to be captains today. Message going to be out there with other boats.
Hey, look, the barrels cried when they cut all those trees down around the house.
See,
that was sick.
3 weeks ago, when the colored Scott down here.
No, I didn't see it. I thought maybe he'd been here.
4 places.
Did you tell me that one of the boats could hardly get under the Bay Bridge? Is that what you told me, Ed?
Yeah, barely made it.
Barely
Mast. The thing was about 4 feet clearance, which ain't much.